Hey you, come, gather around the campfire, and welcome to the party. This is Party Chat, a JRPG podcast where we talk about everything that we love in the world of JRPGs and other Eastern titles. I am one of your hosts, Cameron Hawkins, and with me, as always, is my party partner, Kevin Kenson. Kevin, how you doing today?
Already been a long day, in a good way. Woke up bright and I woke up a little late to the direct, like 5 minutes late. Like
Same.
my alarm went off, and I think I unconsciously turned it off, but I kind of also knew that it was time, and so I turned my watch and went, "Oh god damn it!" Which thankfully,
Yep.
the way they paced out this direct worked out really well. Not that the first 5 minutes was like not good; it was just easier to catch up on. Uh, but yeah, we had a Nintendo Direct this morning, which is what we're talking about today. Uh, Pretty packed one. For what we talk about JRPG wise, there's really like I think two big ones, and then a couple other things I think worth bringing up. We'll make our way through like most of it still, but definitely a
Yes.
couple highlights for JRPG folks.
Yeah, definitely. I'm interested in talking about both of the big ones for different reasons. But yeah, so uh this is like just a bonus episode that we're doing because there was a direct, which was funny because I think like right after we filmed the direct, I like messaged you being like, so I kind of forgot about those direct rumors for this week. But we already recorded the podcast, so we'll
Well,
see what happens.
it works out because it was the odd Friday direct, which like they
Yes.
traditionally never really like. I don't know if this is the first one ever, but like usually they do like a midweek. Like Thursday tends to
Yeah.
be the day to do it. So being a Friday really threw a lot of people off in terms of like the rumor cycle. But they announced it on a Wednesday, so like we at least had time to know.
Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so Kevin, you made a video about the direct for your channel, so you have like all the notes about everything that happened.
I sure do.
So I'm handing the reins over to you, and we will go everything bit by bit.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and focus on the JRPG stuff first, and then we'll kind of
Yes.
go back to the beginning and work our way through.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and start with the first party one, Fire Emblem. I have yelled about this for at least a year now, being like, it's time, guys. It's time. We're going to get something. We're going to get something. We're going to get something. And finally, we got a Fire Emblem reveal in this direct. It was their one more thing. It was the last one. Had me sweating bullets there for a little bit. I was like, it is going to be at this one, right? Like, come on. Come on. And we got it. It's not the Fire Emblem 4 remake that a lot of people were kind of rumoring and hoping for. I still think that's out there somewhere. Maybe it's a closed project. Maybe it's saved in a back pocket for a rainy day. But that is not what was revealed. Instead, we're getting a brand new one called Fortune's Weave.
Yeah, and this seemingly is a sequel, or at least in the same universe, following the events of Fire Emblem Three Houses. And the reason why we think this is because Sothis is like in the end of the trailer, and she is notably older than how she was in Three Houses. But this could be like in Igor situation, a la Persona, right?
Sure.
Where like, oh yeah, there's this character that is this, is central to the MC, and but like is just kind of seemingly this being that always exists in some capacity.
Yeah, like I
Um,
think there's no guarantee. Like I think there's a few ways you could read it, right? Like it could be that this is centuries later and Sothis has aged. It could be in the distant past, and like for some reason Sothis like gets reset and gets the little girl design that we see in Three
mm,
Houses. I actually lean a little bit towards that one only because another interesting thing about this game is that visually and like influence wise it's very like antiquity. It's very like Greek Roman kind of designed visually
yes.
instead of like traditional medieval fantasy, which Fire Emblem tends to lean on. um so I find that very interesting. It could also just literally be we're not even going to talk about what year it is. It's in a different part of the world. Don't worry about it. You know, like
Yeah, it's
Fire.
not connected in any way outside of her.
Yeah, it could be, and there could be a more direct connection. We just don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
Like Fire Emblem's done this before, right? Like Awakening was a sequel, very, very, very long term compared to the original Fire Emblem, and like you had a returning character with Tiki, and they talk about like the legendary hero Marth, but like outside of acknowledging that it was the same world, there's not a ton of like actual direct crossover, you know. Um,
Yes.
and there's other games. They've had other ones that are like shared universe as well. Shadows of Valentia is the same setting as original Fire Emblem as well, but it's like a different continent, so it doesn't really come up or be important at all. Other than yeah, like it's Fire Emblem. Um, so yeah, like this one, it'll be interesting to see how they actually play out this connection, right? Like if it is going to be more direct, if it is just sort of like, hey, people like Sothis, we're doing this again. Like I don't know.
Yeah. It for me doesn't really matter.
Sure,
I'm not. I don't like again. Like we talked about my thoughts on Three Houses on the podcast before. Like I don't think it's particularly a bad game. I just like it's just like not what I wanted from Fire Emblem.
sure.
And kind of honestly seeing Sothis come back was kind of like for me it was like a I
I
wish this wasn't the case.
I look, I had a reaction a little bit because here's the thing. I like the Three Houses setting. Like I have nothing against like the established lore and like build up in that world. Like I'm cool with that for the most part. I am curious how much mechanically this is going to have in common with Three Houses because it doesn't have to use the same general mechanics. And I'm not just talking about like the calendar thing. Like I've talked before about how I like the calendar system in Three Houses, but I don't necessarily want that to be like a series spanning thing. Like I don't necessarily need another one. And I don't think anything about that trailer implied we'd be doing calendar again. But
Hmm.
uh, other than that, like Three Houses, I also personally don't think had particularly great combat relative to the rest of the series. I really thought the loss of the weapon triangle was kind of a problem. I thought the map design, for the most part, in Three Houses was not really as strong as a lot of other games. You know, we talk about Engage pretty often and the problems I have with Engage, but Engage also like was an improvement gameplay wise. Like it was a game where I was
Mm,
like, oh, I like to play this more. I just hate the cast. And so this
mm.
situation where I'm like, man, like just give me the cross section. Like use a setting I like. I'm digging the character design so far. But just like please bring back a little bit of the classic gameplay and not just have this be like Three Houses too.
Yeah, and like part of it, and this is so specific, but it is something that like has kind of been like, okay, I get it. I don't need to experience this again, but like there's just too many like small companion type characters or mascot characters in video games now that are specifically voiced by Cassandra Lee Morris that I just
This is a
like
very specific complaint.
I know it's very specific, but it's like it's just like it's Morgana to me. So I'm just like I don't need another Morgana character that because she voices Morgana. It was Morgana, and then it was Sothis, and then it was Galactica or whatever her name is in Marvel Rivals, and it's like okay, I don't I need this to stop. I need it to stop. And so it's I know it's very specific, but
See,
to me it's just like oh another Morgana in a different game. It's like nope,
my
stop,
solution to
please.
this is I'm gonna probably play it in Japanese as I usually do.
Yeah, and that's something like I still don't particularly uh like you know I particularly like don't
I know.
understand it, but like you know again there's certain games like Yakuza I'm like absolutely
Yeah.
play in Japanese, but the fact that you seemingly play like like most JRPGs in Japanese I just can't fuck with that.
Yep.
um
I think a lot
but
of it comes down to the fact that I mean this is getting out of frame a little bit. I think some of it comes
yeah,
down to the fact that like it's hard for me to like and I don't this is not a thing against voice actors. If anything, it's probably a thing against voice directors. Uh I just don't care for how often a lot of English voice acting in JRPGs is handled. It's oftentimes very hammed up in a way that I find personally off-putting. And the thing is,
okay.
oftentimes it's extremely hammed up in Japanese as well. I just don't speak
Mm.
Japanese, so it doesn't stand out to me the same way.
No, there are
Uh,
definitely like especially in anime again, like in anime there's definitely anime where it's just like the sub is just so much better that I just can't even I can't even try. Like when people say that they watch the sub or dubbed, I'm like, what are you doing? Like what are you doing to yourself?
Sure.
But anyway, uh speaking of the character designs, yeah, that was like the immediate thing that I really was just like, oh wow, I really love the character designs here
Yeah.
already. And specifically, seemingly, and this is my opinion, and you're not going to change it. The main character's black in this game.
One of them, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like the one that we actually see gameplay of.
Yeah, well, you see gameplay
Oh,
of the white-haired guy with the sword and like
oh,
there's
we
like
do. Okay.
there's like four characters they're kind of pushing as like I think main.
Mm,
But
okay.
of them, like the only one that's like white is the like cliche
Yeah,
white-haired swordsman,
white
like kind
soldier
of
guy. Yeah.
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 It seemed like they're
Uh,
pushing this as being like different main characters with intertwining stories. It could be that one of
mm,
them is like the main character. We don't really know until like we actually play. But I will
yeah.
say of them, the younger boy absolutely felt like the most like
The
MC
MC
and MG.
vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if that is the case, like that's awesome because as a black dude that loves JRPGs, I don't remember a lot. I don't know if I've ever played a Japanese JRPG where the main character's black.
Like the
And
main.
so
Yeah.
the main character is black. And so like that's really exciting. It it immediately made me think of I'm not gonna like say the I'm not gonna say what the TikTok is, but or what happens in the TikTok, but it's like the little black girl when she's watching the Little Mermaid remake with Haley Berry. Just look up Little Mermaid, she looks just like me on TikTok, and it should be like the first thing you see. And I was like, that was literally me when I saw that trailer.
Yeah, you posted that in the Discord and that gave me a good laugh.
Yeah, yeah. Um but yeah, I'm super excited about it. It's coming out 2026. We don't really know any other details outside of that. Like we don't have like a collector's edition or anything of the sort there. So, do you think that this is going to be like a more back end of 2026 game or like spring title?
It could really go either way. The thing is, this direct had so many games listed for spring. I feel like it's probably not. Um, and that also raising the question of like it's probably not going to be like the early winter either. I'm
Yeah.
guessing it's probably I'm gonna say fall. I don't have any strong information to confirm that either way. I'm just taking a guess here. I'm feeling fall vibes on this. Could be a summer, could end up being earlier in the year. I would not be opposed to earlier, but especially because they just gave us a year and not any other kind of window when a lot of other games did.
Mhm.
There were a lot of games where they were like, oh, spring 26, spring 26, spring 26. There's enough going on there that I feel like, okay, that's filling that quarter up pretty well already.
Yeah, I agree with you. And like, while we haven't gotten there yet, there will definitely be there definitely was like a lot of games that got just like straight up announced
Yeah.
during this direct that are coming out before the end of the year that are first party that I was just like, wow, like this is coming out literally like in 2 weeks or like a month or something like that. And
No,
so
like this goes back to like the greater direct like thoughts, but I think one of the things that really stood out to me about this one was that like I think the complaints we saw at a lot of previous directs were how third party heavy they were, and there was first party news. Like we had first party games to look forward to, and even the Switch 2 reveal had its games, but this was like primarily first party. There was third party, there was some other big announcements. We had a couple smaller scale stuff too, but like well over half that show was just first party Nintendo, which I think is good, like great. Like I think people wanted to see more Nintendo news, and that's what we got this time.
yeah, we got a lot, which yeah, very much needed, very
Yeah,
much needed.
I will say too, just on the character designs, of the ones we saw, I like the main kid's design too. I think his name's Kai. I'm not 100% on that. Um, I'm just looking up like the names that people have like been able to grab from the trailer. Uh,
Mm,
The one I actually really liked was I think her name is Theodora, the bard looking one. The one who is like
Oh,
has
okay.
like the vengeance quest kind of like pitch. I just
Hmm.
really like the design they ended up giving her. Cuz like they first show her in kind of more of a dancery outfit, and, like that was fine, but then they show her in this kind of more like wanderer cloak kind of thing with a, you know, stringed instrument of some sort. I don't know if I'd call it a guitar, but like I thought her design was really cool. I definitely like the look of these characters more. They fall a little in line with what Three Houses did, but they definitely feel more like what I want a Fire Emblem cast to look like compared to what we had in Engage.
I haven't played Engage, so I can't really compare outside of the MC, which the MC was a choice
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, I love the character designs. It's definitely like a wow, like these designs are already like super memorable, and like which I think is a thing that Fire Emblem does a really great job at. So
yeah.
yeah, very excited for it. It definitely makes me want to I mean, I still want to finish Three Houses. Like I want to like give it a shot and give it another push.
Feel like one
But at the
path
very
down, you know.
least, yeah, but at the very least, I would like to play like Engage before this new one comes out.
Hmm.
I like to kind of be like up to date as best as I can on the series. Like, I know that there's still some older ones, but like those will just like kind of go back to in my own time.
Sure.
Um,
Well, although Path of Radiance is dropping on GameCube at some point, so that's gonna be
oh yeah, that is a like I don't know if that's a drop everything in play, but that is very much a
high
gotta play
priority.
that
Yeah.
high priority. So uh the other game that we got announced, which it was rumored, but
Yes.
I think it was like a rumor that not a lot of people really believed, and like there wasn't a whole lot of like
The evidence
real
more.
backing,
Yeah.
yeah, behind it. But it is indeed real. Is a Dragon Quest VII remake,
Well,
Dragon Quest VII reimagined.
that's the thing. That's the thing. It feels very intentional to not call it remake. Um, I'm
Yeah, but it's still a remake.
no, it is, it is. But I'm very curious. Like, I'm not saying that it's like,
Okay, okay,
that's
okay.
but what I'm saying is, I'm very curious. Reimagine to me implies that you are willing to do more, like cutting around a little bit. Like you're going to be
Hmm.
changing some things. Um, and Dragon Quest VII is like a good game. Like it's beloved by fans of the franchise, but it is
Notoriously long.
it long and slow. Like that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not just the length of it, it's the pacing getting in. Like it takes
Hmm.
so long to get the story going and to like get to a point where you're actually doing like the core Dragon Quest gameplay. Um I'm very curious if this titling is implying some degree of like, are we gonna like fast forward to the opening a little bit? Are we gonna add some other things? Are gonna change some details? Uh Very curious if Reimagine implies they're going to like overhaul the structure a bit instead of just being like a one-to-one. It's prettier, but you're doing the same things. Not to the same extent as like Final Fantasy VII Remake, where it's going off the rails and it's a totally other thing that begins happening.
Yeah.
But something where it's like, hey, like we're not just going to retell the same story in the same beats. Like we are going to make some adjustments to this. That's what the title at least
Yeah.
implies to me.
Yeah. So Chad Conselmo, who is the
Hey,
like he's like the Dragon Quest PR guy for
yeah,
Square Enix.
Dragon Quest
Um,
T-shirt.
A professional friend of ours. Um, he has posted like a bunch of details on his Twitter that I want to
Oh,
read out.
sure. I didn't
That
see
I think
those yet.
some interesting information. So apparently, the developers, because I saw some people notice that like, that Toriyama art style isn't as present in this reimagining, which may have to do due to his death or what have you. But what he did mention was that the developers actually created real life dolls based on Toriyama's art and scanned them into the game to create the models, which is very cool. Um, and then he made a post saying, "For anyone who remembers the original Dragon Quest VII, it was long, almost too long. This new reimagined version has been built from the ground up with a completely reworked story that makes it so much easier to tackle."
Oh,
Uh,
everything I'm saying. Perfect.
yeah, yeah. And then he said, This new version remains faithful to the original, but also features numerous optional side quests, stories, and mini games. Um, let's see here. Let's see if there's anything else that he said. I believe that was it. But yeah, so there's a lot to look forward to here. And we don't know exactly how everything's going to look like. I'm in this weird place where like, so first off, I need to finish Dragon Quest 5 and 6 by February. Like that is now like that is
Yeah.
now top of my
Yeah.
backlog. Like it has to be. Like it's top of my backlog now.
Sure.
And then but like on top of that, it's like dang, do I cuz funny enough, Dragon Quest 7 on the 3DS is one of the few 3DS games I'm still missing. I have Dragon Quest 8, but I don't have Dragon Quest 7. So now I'm just like, do I still get that version just cuz I like maybe at some point I want to play that, the original and like see like the differences that were put into play there, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So because you've played 7, and so I'm curious as to like how much, like how significant you think it could potentially be with leaving a bit more stuff on the cutting room floor and like reworking some things so that the game isn't as long.
I think I absolutely could see. I think the biggest change that I would hope to see, and I think they're going to do, based on what Chad's saying here as well, is especially the opening hours. Like the game just takes a very long time to dive into the action because they're introducing a lot of concepts not even quickly. Like it's like we're going to introduce you to your home island where it's you, and then these are your characters that like are also from your town, and then you guys discover like a ship and you start exploring, and then you suddenly like a new island forms and you go there, and like there's just so much like kind of not even exposition, but just like getting the concept of the game rolling and how, because this game does have a very specific storyline. I would say like it's a bit different from all the others. There's a very heavy emphasis on the idea of like exploration and seeing more of the world. It's not just quite like there is a big bad evil overlord and there needs to be a chosen hero who will rise to face him. And like it's a very different opening pitch. And I think the biggest thing really would be to like get players into the actual gameplay quicker. Because it is just a lot in the opening and it's very slow. And I say this as someone who usually does not mind like slow openings to games. It takes its time, very much so.
Yeah, it sounds like it has a really long prologue type
Very much
vibe.
Yeah, and like I'm not gonna say that there's like no combat or anything in some of the early hours, but it just really takes its time. Like, because here's the thing too, the game introduces like a class system, but it isn't there for like, I don't know, the first 8 hours or something. Like it takes forever to like get to the point where you're actually getting into like characters learning abilities and stuff outside of just like their core kits.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think that's the really big thing, is going to be upping that like accessibility in the sense of like hopefully getting people more engaged in the action right away. Yeah, that would be the big thing, I think. And I'm curious how much else will change as a result of that. But there's no way of really truly knowing, right, until we actually have our hands on it.
Yeah, and I'm curious because like, obviously we've been waiting a long time for Dragon Quest 12. One, I was trying to see like on the screen where it's like has all like the trademarks and stuff, like what who the developer is. And it looks like it's in-house.
Yeah. I mean,
which
probably
is interesting.
Yeah, probably a different team than who's been doing like the HD stuff. Because that was a question that came up in our own.
It's that stuff is normal. Like for all that stuff, you see like I forgot it was like Spike Chunsoft and like
because it's not Team Asano, but it is using the HD 2D stuff that like came from those styles.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that was even a question that came up in our Discord from I think it was Yenval who brought this up, being like, "Hey, why are we going straight to 7 from like 1, 2, and 3?" And it's because like I don't think these are the same folks doing this. I think we've talked about this before. Feel like 4, 5, and 6 are going to get HD 2D treatment down the line. That's probably next up after 1 and 2.
There's like the HD 2D team, and then there's the 3D team.
Yeah, and like these are probably a lot of the same folks that were doing like 11, and that might be part of why 12 is like as far out as it's been and how long it's been taking is because this was being worked on at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is that like that's the reason why, like, this is like a part of the reason why it's taking so long, which I'm not particularly against, but I'm also curious as to like what, it does beg the question of like, when is Dragon Quest 12 coming? Because we've
Yeah,
over the past year, people have gotten to the point like, all right,
yeah,
anything,
it's
anything now.
it's kind of Kingdom Hearts 4 levels at this point, but with a different, smaller fan base. Yeah, smaller in the US at least. Yeah, I this does not make me feel great about when 12 is coming out. If you had any dreams of it being like, announced this year, that's definitely out the window now. Next year, maybe that's still on the table if they do a very short PR cycle for it, where it's like, hey, here's the reveal and it's coming out in 6 months or something. But I just really don't know at this point, because it feels like this game probably took some of the same staff and time. Which I'm not opposed to. Like I think seven's one of those games where I actually think like a remake is like a really good thing. I'm like, oh, like this game was good, but there's definitely like a more focused version of it where it's gonna hit right. It's like how I felt with Persona 3 Reload, where I was like, I love Persona 3, but I understand why like later ones got more popular, and I wish 3 got like that polish. And that's the vibe I have with 7, where I'm like, 7 was good, but there's definitely like a fixed up version of it where people are gonna be able to get to the good stuff like easier.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks great. And the one thing we didn't mention, it's coming out in February.
Yeah,
It has a release date,
6 months away, basically.
less than 6 months away.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, February 5th. Wow. Like, yeah, but yeah, the way that I was just like, well, I know what my backlog looks like for the next 6 months. Like, I know what my priorities are.
Yeah. Which
Um,
they did also reveal a collector's edition for this one, which is a
yes.
much cooler collector's edition than the ones they've been doing for the HD 2D games, but it is
But
also pricey.
also, yeah,
Dude,
like,
I wonder how much of this is like economic factors, because it feels like collector's editions in general have just been getting more and more silly pricing. But
yeah.
it's for people that haven't seen it, you get a Dragon Quest VII themed slime, which I don't think is that much of a different design from a lot of them. But you get a good sized plushie of a slime, you get a steelbook case for the game, and you get a ship in a bottle that is the ship from the game. And like, that's super cool to me. Like, that's the kind of collector's edition where I'm like, thank you. Like, just give me a few really cool things. I don't need 17 slips of paper. But it's also $250. And it's a Square Enix store exclusive, which doesn't offer free shipping, so you're paying expensive shipping on top of that. I think someone else I saw was like ringing it up, and it's like almost $300 to grab this thing. It's a cool CE, but that's spicy. That's spicy.
Yeah, so it's tough because, like, I don't mind spending a good chunk of money on a collector's edition. The main thing,
money.
and like that's a chunk of money, and like the thing is that the main thing is just the attractive piece for me is the steelbook. Like, obviously the ship in the bottle is cool,
Yeah,
with an asterisk.
I mean,
How big is the ship in the bottle?
What's funny to me is the steelbook is by far the least interesting thing out of the group.
Well, no, let me explain here, because like,
Yeah.
with the ship in the bottle, like, yes, that is like the centerpiece of this.
Sure.
But how big is it? Because if it's like this big, then that's worth it. But if it's like this big, then it's not worth it. Like, I don't think it's.
I think the second one you're doing is probably more accurate. I don't think it's going to be as big as that first hand size you did.
Well, I need, like, I'm saying, like, I don't like if it's like something like that I can hold in my singular hand, like, and like put my hand around, like, I don't think that's super worth it, considering the price.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, like, the they say the medium slime plush is the Dragon Quest VII reimagined version.
Yeah.
That is just a fucking slime plush. What do you?
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay. So to be clear, I didn't realize this until I'm looking at the pictures here. To be clear, this is literally just a slime plush with the logo of the game etched on the back of it.
Perfect.
That is the difference.
Yeah. I mean, but that's also how many people already own a slime plush. Like, not everyone is me. But yeah, no, I understand that. I can see that as being like a clash of it. I think again, I agree with you in that I do want to see the actual like size and scale of the ship in the bottle. I don't think it's going to be huge. You know, I don't know if I would say one hand, but maybe 1.5.
Do they actually hold on? Do they actually have the details? Like,
I'm just looking at the main like advertising
okay,
picture for
so
it.
the ship. Oh, I got it now. Ship in the bottle. Item size is approximately 28.5 centimeters high or wide.
Wide?
Yes. So it's less than a foot long.
Barely. Yeah, it's basically it's just under a
Yeah.
foot.
So it's like small. It's like this big.
No, foot? Like I mean it's okay, it's gonna be like that wide, right?
Like this wide.
A little. I mean, that's not a full foot, but yeah, I mean, probably like 1.5 times that.
Yeah, I mean, like that's. I don't think
That's
that's
about.
very big.
I mean, yeah, but again, what were you expecting? Like something that was going to take up a whole like display case? Like,
No, not like no, but like something like that's worth $300. Like we've
no, I
gotten.
agree, it's overpriced. Like, I'm not saying that it's like totally worth $200 for the thing alone.
I'm just saying that we've gotten expensive like Square Enix collector's editions that were 100% worth the money.
Yeah.
Like in my opinion, like the 7 remake with Cloud on the Daytona.
Yeah.
That bike is like the most impressive thing I have ever like the way that you can switch up the like you can change with the wheels and stuff like that, and like it's so impressive and totally worth the money.
Well, that was the later one. The initial one that came with 7 Remake, you weren't able to change the wheels and stuff. You just had a couple specific pieces for Cloud.
It's not like you change the wheels, but you can rotate them and like things like that.
It was a little
like,
mobile. It was a little mobile. Yeah.
It was very cool.
No,
I still need to get the Rebirth Collector's Edition. But anyway,
I honestly think this is a symptom of like this isn't a unique problem with Square Enix right now. Like everyone's collector's editions are getting more expensive for what you're getting. We were just talking. I mean, I know this is an extra layer because it's limited run games, but like we were just talking about the Star Ocean one, right? Where getting a steelbook case doubled the price to $80. You know, and then they have the big one that was what $250 as well. And then what they charged for like the Raito remastered one. I think collector's editions are just getting more and more expensive. Part of that has to probably do with like what it costs to manufacture and import these things right now because oh man, does everything suck in that realm right now. Yeah, like I agree it sucks. I think it's just I think that's just the world we live in right now for collector's editions, sadly.
Yeah. No, that's fair. But yeah, super excited. Oh, it is worth noting, Switch 2 version is a game key card. That sucks ass.
Yeah, that's not surprising. That's
And for a second there, I thought that there was no physical for Xbox because everyone was showing the box arts, but they for some reason weren't showing Xbox. And I'm like, fuck, there's no Xbox physical because I have Dragon Quest 11 physical on Xbox, and so, but they do in fact have it for Xbox, so that's cool. I'll probably, I'm curious as to what this is going to look like on the OG Switch. So like that's like this might be a rare instance where like I don't know, like because I have 11 for Switch. So I
confirmed for cross-gen.
Yeah, but it's going to be a similar. If I remember correctly, somewhere it said that it's a similar boat where they're separate versions. It's not like a free update.
Right. Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, based on what we saw visually in that trailer, it's definitely gonna be one of those games where I feel like Switch 2 is gonna be a pretty significant upgrade. I'm just hitting the point honestly where like I'm probably gonna have to pivot my Dragon Quest 11 my Dragon Quest collection just being PlayStation, like because I just can't keep dealing with these game key card options.
I mean, right now, like, I mean, like getting 3 on PS5 right now is still cheap. Like, doing that pivot is not. I still need to get 3 for Xbox actually, because like that, I'm still gonna do that. But the more point I was trying to make is that like when I play 11 on the first time, I'm gonna play it on Xbox because I know it's gonna look notably better versus Switch. But if I want to play the 2D version, I'm definitely probably gonna play that on Switch.
Hmm.
Just because like, oh, it's on Switch, it's the 2D version. But yeah, so anyway, didn't mean to go super long on that, but
That's all good. I mean, those are the two
yeah,
main games we're
those are
going to
the
focus
two big
on.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the two big ones.
Quick other JRPG news worth citing for this specific one. Not like a brand new game or anything, but I don't think we had a release date for Persona 3 Reload before. And
Uh-huh.
during one of their kind of quick blitzes of like, oh, all these great games are coming to Nintendo Switch as well, or Switch 2 in this case. And it did list that Persona 3 Reload would be coming out October 23rd of this year. So that is another thing to, if you're primarily a Switch person, you don't have consoles, and you want to play Persona 3 Reload, there you go. Got a date.
Sweet.
Sweet. And yeah, so one other game I think actually worth shouting out before we get to like going into everything else. Monster Hunter Stories 3 is another game we got to see a little bit more of. They didn't
Yes, we
highlight a
did.
ton of combat still, which I find interesting. Like they've really been holding off showing combat for that game.
Mm-hmm.
But they did show off exploration in the game, which does have a bit more of which does have like an open world feeling to it. And you are able to ride various different monsters, and like there are benefits to that, climbing up walls, flying through the air, all that kind of thing. And we did get a release date for that as well, which I don't think we knew before, which was March 13th of next year.
Yeah, we did not have a release date, so that is dope. And that's another series that I have the games for. And I think that because that release date is coming, because I really wanted to play Monster Hunter Stories 2 when that came out, and people said like, guys, this is like low key, like really fucking good.
Yeah.
Um, I really want to hop on that train as well and finally get into the Monster Hunter Stories series. It just depends on things and stuff right now because playing a lot of games to talk about for y'all, and also like at the very least trails I'm no lifing next
Yeah.
weekend, so that'll be something I'll get out quick. And then but like there's non JRPGs I still really want to play. Like Borderlands 4 just came out. I very much want to play that. Like the only thing that's stopping me from having already bought and started playing that game is just because I have a bunch of other games I need to play right now.
Yeah.
But like once I have that opening, like I'm gonna be playing a crap ton of Borderlands 4. And now, which we'll get to later during this pod, there's like 2 or 3 other new games coming out later this year that I want to play day one ideally. So yeah, but anyway, what else we got, Kevin?
And then actually, I'm going to count this. I mean, it is JRPG. It's just people get divided on exact definitions. But Pokemon, of course. We also got Pokemon Legends ZA news,
Yes.
which in the aftermath has gotten kind of worse, or weirder at least. I don't know if you saw this. We'll talk about it.
Oh yeah, yes.
So
I did
there,
see it.
there were 2 bits of news for Pokemon Legends ZA. One, we got a new trailer showing more Mega Evolutions, the big reveal being Mega Forms for the Gen 6 starters. So Chestnut, Greninja, and I always forget the Firefox, but even though I love Fire.
Oh, Chespin, Fennekin, and...
Wait, no, but Final Evolution. Like, what's the...
Oh! I don't remember.
Because it's Fennekin, Delphox, and then I can't remember the last one for some reason right now. But yeah, so what? Just trying to remember.
I think Delphox is the final evolution. Yeah, Delphox is the final evolution.
Oh, okay. That was the middle one for some reason. Okay.
No.
Anyways, so yeah, they're all getting Mega Evolutions. And alongside that, they then announced DLC already in advance for that game before it's even released, which is called... let me double check my notes because I already forgot off the top of my head. Pokemon Legends ZA Mega Dimension. And the only real big teaser as part of this was revealing Mega Raichu with 2 different forms, one inspired by X, one inspired by Y. One of the annoying things about this is they are marketing it as something you can buy right away. The content won't be available at launch because that would be like why is that separate then? But you do get bonus items for purchasing it, and those will be available like on launch day with Legends EA, with
Okay.
the story content coming later. So that's I never really like the only time I'm kind of okay with DLC being announced before a game is like a fighting game letting me know what the first season pass is going to be or something. Like I've just
Hmm.
kind of learned to
Hmm.
live with that. But when you're just like this game's not even out yet and you're trying to upsell me on the expansion thing right away with this thing, it's just I do not love that. Um,
Yeah.
and then the other headache thing with this reveal is the Pokemon Mega Evolutions they did for the 3 starters. Those aren't even a thing you get by just regularly playing the game. Those are going to be special rewards for participating in the game's online ranked battle system, which was not a context brought up during the reveal trailer whatsoever. It is a thing they announced after the fact, which not only means you now have to participate in an online functionality that's part of a what I originally thought was going to be primarily a single player game, but it also means that they're timed and that you have to have an active Nintendo Switch Online membership. So those are suddenly gated considerably more. I've seen a few people talking about and coping with the idea that these are going to be like eventually just made available as DLC and that this is like an early way to get them, which would be a better case scenario.
Hmm.
But nothing about Pokemon's own wording implies that. Their own like current on their socials where
Verbiage.
they have the announcement. Yeah, let me get the actual. Let me get the exact quote here. New Mega Evolutions have been revealed for Chestnut, Delphox, and Greninja in Pokemon Legends ZA. You'll be able to Mega Evolve these Pokemon by earning their Mega Stones from online ranked battles with Nintendo Switch Online. Uh, so that doesn't imply like there's no like early in there, right? Like they didn't put like you'll be able to do this early by playing ranked battles. Like they're making it seem like no, that is how you get these, which I am not a fan of.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, they sometimes they do stuff like that, like with Pokemon, and it's kind of like one of those things with Nintendo and Pokemon as well, where they're just gonna do what they're gonna do, and regardless of how we feel about it, like they're so big and popular that it doesn't matter. Like we totally have our right to complain about it, but
They're gonna do
unfortunately
it. Yeah.
they're gonna do it.
Yep. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Nothing. No, we can't change this. I get that.
yeah,
I just,
yeah.
I'm gonna bitch about it.
No, yeah, your fist you're shaking your fist in the sky, you know what I mean?
Yep.
At the sky. But it's cool that it's honestly kind of like what they did with X and Y, except for it wasn't an event where like you got to get one of the Kanto starters, and the Kanto starters had like the Mega Evolutions.
Yeah.
But this time around, which is weird that they didn't do that. Like from Go, give the starters Mega Evolutions.
Yeah. That was always
Um,
odd.
and so I'm kind of curious if they're going to do that with ZA, because like this isn't like a different region in the sense of like, I mean, like I'm not saying that there can't be a
Regional
what
form.
yeah, what's the sixth generation Pala
Kalos.
Kalos. Oh, Kalos, okay. Like Kalos form
Sure.
for the starters, but
Yeah. I
if
mean,
not, it's either you're giving them a form or you're giving them Mega Evolutions or you're giving them both.
yeah. My assumption has been Mega Evolutions just because that has been the focus. I would prefer
Yeah,
form if I'm being honest.
I no,
Because
no, thank you.
I think forms are neat.
Well, actually,
Because it also gives me like
probably
it
because I
makes
don't like Mega Evolutions.
it's also because I feel like it makes the starters feel more interesting and unique since they're double dipping, right? It's like, oh, these are starters you've
Mm,
all had before, but now you're gonna see them in a new way. Like that usually gets me a little more like, oh, okay, like I'm down. Um,
that's fair.
but yeah, I don't. We'll see. It's just a very bizarre thing to me. Uh, so yeah, that's it as far as things that I would say are like JRPGs.
Hmm.
But there was a whole lot of this direct. We'll speed through some of these later ones, but a lot of stuff worth talking about.
Yeah.
The opening of the show was entirely focused on the 40th anniversary of Mario. Some of that was some like non-game news, like they were talking about the museum for a bit. We got a teaser trailer for Super Mario Galaxy the movie, which is going to be the next one. I love how they ran through the cast list again. It's like these are all the same people.
Yeah.
You didn't change anyone. Like why are we spending time on this? But okay. Um, Tied into that, we did, however, get the announcement that Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are coming to Switch, as well as Switch 2. You
Yes.
can buy them individually on the eShop for $40 a pop, but there is also a physical edition coming out with both of them for, I believe, 70 is what I've
70.
seen.
Yes,
Yeah. So
correct.
you get a little discount if you do the bundle.
Yeah, which super great. Specifically, that Galaxy 2 is coming.
Yeah.
To Switch finally, and there is a physical release. That's huge. Very odd that it's not odd, but it's actually very Nintendo that they're like, yeah, we'll give you Galaxy 2 5 years later at the next notable anniversary instead of a
Yeah.
couple of years later or the next year or
Oh no,
something.
and what's really funny is that if you're a person who goes out of the way to make sure they're getting physical copies of stuff, there's no way to not own Mario Galaxy twice because you're going to have it on 3D All Stars, and now you're going to have it as part of this collection.
Yeah. So cool. But I think the main that I think that's the big question is that like what is this the same version that came in All Stars or is this a more improved version
Well, we know it's
of
not the exact same because they already talked about there being new content, like with like the Rosalina storybook thing.
You're right. Now that I think about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I
Well,
think it is worth considering, like, yeah, like how different visually is it going to be? I have not yet looked at like 3D All Stars gameplay and this gameplay we saw in the trailer. Historically, as weird as it is, Nintendo has not really ever done the same version twice this way. Like Super Mario 64, for instance, the one on NSO is not the same as the one in the 3D All Stars collection.
yes.
And even like looking back further, right? Like we're getting Wind Waker on GameCube NSO, and they're not using the HD version stuff. Like it's going back to GameCube, still with some enhancements, obviously, with how they do the upscaling and such. But yeah, so like I imagine they're going to be different. How significantly different? I don't know off the top of my head. We're just gonna like need to see the more full thing. But yeah, what this also makes me curious about, and this doesn't rule out the possibility because they've done this before with like the 3D All Star collection. What this means for like potentially eventually doing like a Wii Virtual Console, because those two are just getting their own releases instead. We'll see.
I definitely can see a Wii release happening. I just don't see it happening anytime soon. Like I don't see it happening soon. I think
mean,
like we'll
my guess would have been late next year at the soonest.
for like just Wii Virtual Console.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, see, I think it's going to be like
I mean,
in
they
on the
usually,
back end of the Switch 2 life cycle. Like I know that they do update it. Here's the thing. I know that they update it
yeah,
frequently. I get that.
like roughly once a year
But
we get a system. Every year and a half.
I just yeah, but now that we're at a point, I don't know. I'm just thinking like Nintendo, and I'm just thinking that like now that they're getting close to catching up with like their history,
Sure.
they're going to be like, yeah, we're going to take our time with this because we y'all have all of this and like there's still so many games that they could just like, and I'm not saying that they don't add like games to older systems. It's not like that they stop, but like
Sure.
they just started GameCube.
Yeah.
So the idea of them bringing in Wii like next year, that just feels really soon for like two major consoles like
True.
that.
Yeah.
Like the Virtual Boy thing, I was just like, yeah, okay, sure. Like there's 10 people are
We
gonna play
haven't
this.
talked about that yet. Yeah.
Yeah. They're bringing the Virtual Boy stuff. It's like cool. I'm never gonna touch this probably. I'm happy for those that care about this. But like if it was the Wii, I would have been like already like that would really
I mean, I wouldn't see I definitely wouldn't see it this year. Like no part of me ever thought that was going to happen.
even if it was next year, I would have been like, oh, I would have been like already? Like we just got GameCube.
But they've been doing that pacing already. Like it's been roughly a year and a half for every system. Less than in a lot of cases.
I guess it just feels different to me when it comes to their handheld history. because when it comes to their handheld history, at least for me, through like, is that at least how I've always like seen it, and agree or disagree with me if you like, but Game Boy had some notable first party stuff. Game Boy Color, like, not really outside of Pokemon. Game Boy Advance, Metroid and like some like Golden Sun, and like a lot of like ports of things
Mm-hmm.
for first party, but like again, not like anything super duper massive where I feel like that's like a big jump. And then they go like N64, and then they go, and then like the wait between N64 and GameCube was like what, 2 or 3 years? Or am
I mean,
I off base there?
no, you're right. There was like 3 years, but they did do Game Boy Advance in the middle of that.
Okay. Yeah, so this like that's what like obviously Virtual Boy significantly less significant.
Yeah.
But like Virtual Boy feels like the Game Boy Advance example of like N64 to GameCube, where like
Sure.
yeah, here's this non like main console thing that exists before we get to like either the DS or the Wii.
Yeah. I guess I'm just surprised still by the wording of near end of life cycle, because like even by using that logic, the latest it would be is like 2027.
You think this like you think the Switch 2 is going to
The Switch
are you
lasted 8 years.
yeah.
Yeah. So 2027 is like the 2.5 year mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No,
Which is not
like,
the end of the life cycle.
okay. I think I'm a little confused in what you just said.
Oh.
But no, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So I just think that it's gonna be a minute until the DS or the Wii happens.
I mean, I think DS is like
Just
last, yeah, or near the end.
because I just feel like that there's been so that we've already gotten just like so much recently.
Mhm.
Because I definitely I remember there being a point in time where it felt like that they weren't doing anything with NSO. And then they just like then they just started out throwing everything, and I'm like, okay, you're doing too much now. And so now I'm
Well, it's
like,
because they also charged you the upgrade by doing expansion pass, so they're
yeah, like
like
which
kind of,
I
yeah.
still have not paid for. I've never paid for the expansion pass yet.
Yeah.
But once Path of Radiance comes out,
I was about to say, yeah.
yep.
But yeah, anyways, that was just a really long side thing on Super Mario Galaxy.
No, it's a
1
good
and 2.
conversation though. It's a good conversation.
Yeah. And we'll get back to Nintendo Switch Online in a bit, because as we have already talked a little bit, Virtual Boy is one of the things that showed up. Got to reveal the next. Why is my camera frozen? There we go. We got to reveal the next Mario sports title with Mario Tennis Fever. That is a Switch 2 specific game. I don't believe they gave any specific date or window on that one. It was just, this is the next thing they're working on.
Yeah, which sure.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, like, I figured this was inevitable. Like, I did a
Yeah.
predictions like short the other day, and I primarily focused on things I care about. So I just talked about like Fire Emblem and Square Enix showing up. But like, if I did a longer format predictions, I'd be like, oh yeah, 40th anniversary for Mario, we're gonna get a sports game. Like, it's just, that's like a side series that, there are multiple different ones within it, but we're due for another. And tennis makes sense.
Yeah.
And this was like the first one that dropped on Switch. They're just going right back to it for Switch 2.
Yeah, I just wish that it was not tennis. I wish it was baseball. Like, I would really like them to go back to that.
Which they haven't done since the Wii, right? Wii was last time they did one?
Since the Wii.
Yeah.
Correct.
After that, we got some news for Super Mario Brothers Wonder Switch 2 edition. They vaguely alluded to there being extra content in the game. The one thing they did specify is a new zone that is entirely focused on like multiplayer stuff. So you can do stages that are either competitive or cooperative. Like there's a hide and seek game where characters can transform into objects and hide amongst similar looking ones. There was like a hot potato, like get through the stage by passing a bomb to each other before it explodes. Neat. Like, yeah, if you liked Wonder, here's some more of it. I'm more curious about the extra content stuff just because, like, I primarily play that single player, so I want to see what that stuff is. But the co-op stuff's cool if you're going to do like a group thing. And then another physical product tie into that, they are making a little physical version of the flower guy, and he just like says shit. Like not even
which
with
is
you
kind of great.
with like
I digged it.
yeah, with like you not even pushing a button. It'll just do it. Like it'll just sometimes say things.
Did we mention that Galaxy's getting those amiibos?
Oh, I did not mention. Yeah, true. We did get amiibo news as well. The Galaxy one was really snuck in at the last second, like at the end of the trailer. But they did reveal that we're getting some Galaxy themed amiibo as well. Which I don't remember off the top of my head what they were. I mean, I imagine one of them is Rosalina, right?
Yeah, so one of them is Mario going through the star thing.
Yes. And then Rosalina with the book.
If I remember correctly, it comes out in April.
April 2nd. Yep. Yeah, so a good bit after the game's release. Oh yeah, because that was something. I don't know if you said that. The release date for 1 and 2 is going to be this year.
Yeah, October 2nd.
October
Crazy.
2nd. Yeah, super soon.
That again, like less than a month. That's crazy.
And then the last big Mario announcement, at least, which isn't actually Mario directly. We did get the reveal of a brand new Yoshi game, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. This is one of those many next spring games that we mentioned earlier. Switch 2 exclusive. The whole thing is very cutesy. It's interesting because it shows like Yoshi in the more traditional like 3D Mario aesthetic, and then when he goes into the book, it turns into more kind of like Mario Wonder, where it's this like almost hand-drawn look. Really cute.
Yeah.
I'm curious about how the actual overall structure is going to play, and like if the game framework is going to be fun. But visually, I ate it up. Like I think that's a great look for Yoshi.
Yeah, it looks cool. I still need to play Crafted World, but I have it, so that's like another one of those things where like that's the thing with platformers for me is like I really want to play this platformer, but there's all these other games I'd rather play. So
then we came up on what is probably like the relatively slower section of this direct. They got a couple like kind of smaller, either AA, indie, whatever term you want to use for them, projects that were getting announced. Storm Lancers, which was a shadow drop, like 2D platformer, co-op optional. I think they might have said roguelite for it. I forget. It looked neat. It had a very heavy 80s vibe. It's a shadow drop, so that's neat.
yeah.
Cool. Dinkum, which is a game that already came out on PC, but it's going to be console exclusive to Switch later this year, starting in November. Life sim, I think vaguely Australian themed game. Popocom, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Holiday release for Switch 1. Co-op game involving like color mini games and trying to navigate like multiplayer 3D platforming. That looked kind of cool. I could see playing that with Christine, like neat,
Yeah.
Tomodachi Life. We got to see new gameplay for that, including the Mii Maker, which looks more in depth than I remember the Mii Maker ever being. Like I feel like there were a lot more options going on there than we had in previous.
I mean, the Mii Maker back in the day was so base level. Yeah, bare bones.
So that showing off a couple new things with it, like being able to how you can like try to pair up the Miis together and such, and did get a not hard release date, but at least a narrowed down one of spring 2026. Another spring release. Then they did a quick run through of a couple random games that they're just like, oh, by the way, these are coming to Switch. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, Final Fantasy Remake Intergrade, which will be on January 22nd. Linked Banner of the Spark, that was another shadow drop today. And then Hades 2 full release is now going to be at the end of this month, September 25th, 2025.
How are you feeling about that?
Like that being this month?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with it because Hades 2 is a game that I've been steadily playing in early access all this time anyways.
Okay.
So it's not like a big deal for me that it's dropping this month. Like I can put it off a little longer to play other things.
I just know some people that have been playing in early access, and even then they're like, thank God I have 2 weeks to prepare for Hades 2.
Yeah, no, it's a huge game, and I love it, and I'm totally going to dive into it when I'm able, but because I've been able to get some of that like urge out playing the early access, I don't mind waiting a bit to play the full version because September, October is so absolutely stacked. I'm going to put my hours in this game. Don't you worry. Like it's gonna get bad some time, but
I believe you.
That's one of those games where once I'm in, I'm in. So
you've made me be like, I wasn't familiar with your game multiple times. So yeah, no, I
Yeah,
believe you.
the demon will be purged.
Yeah, no, like you're like Thursday night, I'm gonna make a post being like, I'm gone from trails, and then by the time we record Tuesday morning or whatever, I'm gonna be on the other side, and you're gonna be like, okay, like how many
Okay.
hours have we put into trails? And I'm gonna be like, a lot, a lot, dog.
Uh, After that, we got a quick look at Kirby Air Riders, which wasn't actually any info on the game itself, but they announced new amiibo for it, which are Kirby and Bandana Waddle Dee. They both come with their little vehicles. They announced there's going to be more of these type of amiibo, and there's going to be a whole thing where you can like take them
You
off
can
their
switch
vehicles
them,
and
which is
swap them,
cool.
and it's
That very
reflected
cool.
in game when they're scanned. Super neat.
Yes, very
Um,
cool.
you have
Oh, I was gonna say like the other thing that I just can't I wrap my head around.
double
There's
Sakurai Direct.
there's gonna be another one.
I'm down. Look, man,
Why though?
Sakurai Directs are
Why?
so different because it's not like oh, here's like a brief overview of like why this game is neat and you should spend it. We're gonna get a small sermon on like the history of just why he's making every design choice he is.
A sermon?
They are so interesting. Like the dude is doing like proper like what's the word I want to use here? Like he is teaching class and I'm ready to sit down and watch. So yeah, I'm down. It's gonna get a second one. It'll be neat. I am curious how long it'll be again because the last one was like 45 minutes of just Kirby Air Riders, and I would not be shocked if it was that long again. But it's like, damn, man, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I love Sakurai. I don't know if we need another direct. Like that's gonna be that's probably gonna be a hey Kevin, how was that second Kirby Air Riders direct?
Wonderful.
And you're gonna be like, it was neat.
I have so much more knowledge now. Age of Imprisonment, we got some updates on. I think we already knew the release date of that one, which was November 6th. That was part of the presentation, though, again. The big thing, I think, really is showing off new characters, including a little playable Korok. That's cute. And then they didn't really full reveal, but they did another tease of, like, the Construct-looking character, which is looking like their way of, like, sneaking not Link into the game. Like, it's not Link. It doesn't look like Link, but like they even do the same dive animation, like falling from the sky. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
this is going to be how you give us like a playable Link style character without it being Link.
Yeah.
They did also have some fun like functionality stuff they announced. Like there's combo moves with characters. There is going to be local co-op with the ability to do game share. I should take it back. I don't know if it's local co-op, but I know you can do co-op, and game share is a way you could accomplish that. So that's cool. I'm excited for this game. Like, especially now that they're emphasizing how this one's going to be more canon than how Age of Calamity was. Yeah, and also Zelda fighting looks cool. Like the one quick shot they did of her holding like the blade of light thing, awesome. Eat it up.
Yes, no, like that game looks really fun. That looks really fun. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it, but I definitely want to play it. Did we actually properly talk about Virtua Boy yet? Or are we not there yet?
That was going to be the next thing.
Cool. While we're talking about it, so the cardboard model is going for $25, and then the actual unit that they're remaking, which is really crazy that they're going that far, is $100.
Yeah, I mean that's what was I saying earlier about physical goods from other countries being more expensive lately? Yeah, like that checks out. The cardboard being 25 does suck. It'd be neat if they gave you like, I don't know, they made available files for like, hey, if you get a cardboard sheet this big, just do this. Because it's not like it's anything fancy. It's just you put the cardboard together to make an enclosure and you put the Switch in it.
And like, to be clear, I am going to buy this at some point. Like, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Because, Nintendo Switch Online is gonna be a thing moving forward. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna be surprised if we get an inevitable Switch 3, like, and that it continues on. And so, yeah, I'm gonna get this eventually when I have like, you know what? Oh, here's the thing that I've been meaning to buy. I'm gonna buy this.
Yeah. But yeah, so Virtual Boy is coming to NSO. It's part of the expansion pack. As Cam just mentioned, there's going to be a physical replica of the Virtual Boy that you can use for this. You can also just buy the cheaper cardboard version or just make an enclosure yourself. Because basically what this is mainly doing is acting as like a way to block off your eyesight. There's probably going to be some kind of like little lenses or something to then create the 3D effect. And you can play Virtual Boy on your Switch or Switch 2. Yeah, I understand why some people are like, this is dumb. I think this is the coolest shit they're doing this. Like, I understand the library is not exactly it. This is definitely gonna be more of like a curiosity and like a fun thing than like a, oh man, I finally get to play like this game again. But I think it's super freaking cool.
To be clear, I like it's cool that they're doing this because it's a niche thing, and I appreciate niche things.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, I didn't expect this, but
Yep.
cool.
I will say, so they did do a list of all the games coming to the platform. I mean, at least right away. Who knows? Maybe there's more to add later. But the list right now, this is accumulated from, I think, Nintendo Life posted the actual titles of the games because when they put it on the presentation, it was just like the box art covers. Mario Tennis, Galactic Pinball, Teleroboxer, Wario Land, Red Alarm, Vertical Force, Mario Clash, Golf, Virtual Bowling, Innsmouth no Yakata. That's one I'm guessing only came out in Japan, so there's just that title. Space Invaders, Virtual Collection, V Tetris, 3D Tetris, and by far the most important one, the reason I would even consider buying a Virtual Boy, and now I don't have to because this game is like well over $500. Jack Bros is going to be on this. So I'm excited. Do you know what Jack Bros is, Cam?
I was about to say, like, Kevin, tell me what Jack Bros is.
Jack Bros is a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei that is starring Jack Frost and
and Jack-o'-lantern?
And Jack-o'-lantern, yeah.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, you just sold me.
It's like it is often argued to be the best thing that happened to the Virtual Boy, and it is so expensive.
Yeah, no, you got me. You got me.
Let me look this up right now. Like, if I go on eBay, like, what does this go for? Yeah, Jack Boys, Virtual Boy game and manual, authentic, with a reproduction box, $2,599. I mean, that's a silly one. There's other people listing it at like 200, but yeah, like it is an expensive game. But yeah, Jack Bros. It's gonna be playable on Nintendo Switch Online. That's freaking sweet. Okay, so Virtual Boy, we're done with that. Another remake that I did not expect to like see happen. Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly.
Yeah, we were just talking about that too, weren't we? Like a week or two. We were talking about
back, yeah.
The how the voices are like European because there was only or there's like a physical release only in Europe or something like that out in the West.
For one of the other games, maybe, yeah, because they just revealed that we're getting this like remake for this one.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one that was on the Wii.
Oh yeah. For Lady in Water or whatever. Yeah, that was a regional like locked thing. I feel like, and maybe there's a hardcore fan who's going to argue with me about this. As I recall, and from the ones I've played, this is like the best one. Like this is the one that most people point to as being like, oh, like this is why I'm into Fatal Frame. And so super stoked that it's coming back. This is a franchise that I feel like has always been like just barely its head above water, trying to like be like, no, like we're still making these games. Come on. And this is one where I like, look, I understand people get tired of remakes, remasters, et cetera, but like, cool game. I think it's going to benefit from a facelift, being a little bit more visually relevant, and bring those horror vibes. I'm down.
Yeah, like Fatal Frame, I think is, and I might be off base here just based off of like looking at the game, like, but Fatal Frame is one of those horror like series that like I feel like I'd be okay playing, and I'm like kind of curious about those games because they did a remake of like Fatal Frame 3, right? A few years ago.
They did like a re-release of the Wii one on Wii U, I think.
No, they did one on Switch. It was a Switch one.
Maybe they remade the first one on Switch. I forget. Let's see.
Okay. But yeah, that's a series I'm curious about for sure.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. Yeah, I can't answer your question best because I forget what about horror games like turns you off, but like it is excellent vibes. It is the things that I like in Japanese horror games.
Like, I mean, is Fatal Frame scary or is it more unsettling?
I mean, it does both. Like like you're gonna get some like minor jump scary type stuff, but it's definitely heavier on like the vibes and the unsettlingness. Sure.
Oh, okay, then yeah, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah,
I'd
it
be
falls
okay
in a
with that.
similar vein of like not the same type of content, but like I would say it's a similar vein to like how Silent Hill is unsettling and that kind of vibe. So, but yeah, so another cool thing to be excited about. They did a quick wrap up on some games getting Switch 2 editions, like One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, Overcooked 2, Power War Simulator 2. Cool. Oh, and then Fatal Frame 2 Remake. Not a specific date, but they did say early 2026. Do you ever play Suika? I never really played Suika, but I know of it. Okay.
I knew Suika was popular. I knew it had to do with a watermelon. That was the first time I've ever seen Suika gameplay in my entire life.
Yeah, and so traditionally Suika is like you're dropping stuff from above, like almost picture like a claw machine in reverse. This is Suika Planet, so it's a circular shape and you're doing stuff from any of the sides. And yeah, like cool, neat. Just a fun spin on that, and people who like Suika, super excited for more of it. Metroid Prime 4, 3 things happened. Got a motorcycle.
Motorcycle.
Some people hate the motorcycle, but overall, I've seen a lot of excitement for it.
Well, that's their loss.
Yeah, it's just people who are worried about like, oh, they're adding an open world section, or like, is there going to be anything interesting in this area, or like, what does this actually add to the overall framework, et cetera, whatever. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, we know so little about it, it's like just annoying to me to be that negative about it out the gate. Like, I could see it not working out, but to assume it's not this early on just seems silly to me. But yeah, so motorcycle. We got the reveal of Amiibo as well, like we got with Mario Galaxy. 3 of them in waves. There's 2 that come out first, 1 later. And
one being Samus with the bike.
Yep, one being Samus with the bike. Very cool. And we finally got a release date, December 4th. So they're getting it right at the end of the year, but it's still this year.
I knew it was going to be December.
No, December, like early December makes sense. And now we know it for a fact. Another first-party game, I didn't expect to see this soon. Bonanza DLC. That's not only announced, but also out. Like, either now or very soon today.
It's out today, yeah.
It's out today, yeah. Donkey Kong Bonanza Emerald Rush. The 2 key things here is it adds a new area that is the actual, like, old school Donkey Kong Island, or at least their very like simplified version of it to be able to fit in this game, which is also going to have like familiar Donkey Kong characters show up hanging out on the island. Super cool. And then they're adding a new like kind of gameplay mode within the game that is called that's the Emerald Rush aspect, that is like a roguelite where you're doing this challenge to get as many of this emerald material as you can, and on each run you can get different upgrades and power-ups that last just for that run, and you're trying to do the most you can in the time available. That's not just on the new area, but there is going to be those stages in the regular ones too. I think they did specify for that mode you do have to clear the base game to start doing that, because there's some plot reasons for doing it. But yeah, I did not expect getting DLC available this fast. I figured we were going to get more stuff for Bonanza down the line, but like, I would not have expected to see an announcement this soon, much less it's just here.
Yeah, it's crazy. So my friend posted, it's wild that DK Bonanza already has more DLC or post-game support than Mario Odyssey did.
And Mario Kart World. Like, Mario Kart World hasn't gotten any like news yet. And Bonanza's
but you know that game is gonna. We know that game's gonna get like.
Oh, sure.
How many freaking
more
extra courses? Yeah, like.
But yeah. So Bonanza, more of that to enjoy. Oh, and then as part of that, you're also getting more costumes for characters that are unlockable, etc., etc. Pokemon. We already talked about Pokemon. Oh, well, we didn't talk about Poketopia though. We talked about Pokemon Legends EA, but we did not talk about Poketopia. Sorry,
Dude, cursed.
Pokopia. Actually, there's no toe in that one, just Pokopia.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of down. Like, so okay, if you guys didn't watch the direct, this is you play as a Ditto that can turn into a human form, and
A cursed human.
it's essentially Pokemon Crossing, kind of. Like, you're building
Yes.
up your little area, you're meeting other Pokemon. I don't think it's like Animal Crossing where it's randomized. I think you're actually meeting specific Pokemon because you're also getting specific moves, like, inspired by them. And you use those moves and abilities to, like, build a little town. You know, you can knock stuff down, you can grow plants, you can build little structures. Like the end game shot they show, you actually have what basically looks like a town in Pokemon, where there's a Pokemon Center and a big old Snorlax sleeping in the middle of the road. It's cute. Look, I'd be lying if I said I'm excited about this like specific game, but I think I've like bitched about this on the pod before. I'm just happy Pokemon's experimenting with like a genre crossover again.
Sure.
That is not like a mobile game. Like,
Sure.
Cool.
That's fair.
Not exactly what I wanted, but like, awesome. Like, this is a step in the direction I want you guys doing with your IP. So, like, cool. I'm honestly surprised that this is like, it took them this long to arrive to this concept. Like, it just makes so much sense to me. And here it is.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Like, I do like how they're doing something that isn't just a new mobile game, which I'm sure they totally could have like made a mobile version of that game as well, but it does absolutely nothing for me. So
yeah, it's like I might check it out. You know, we'll see. Depending on pricing as well, like if it's a full price or maybe one that they'd go a little lower on. But I think it's cool they're experimenting.
One small thing that we did miss that there are now actual details for is that for alongside like the Mario Galaxy stuff, they're actually releasing an official version of Rosalina's storybook.
Yes, I meant to bring that up. Oops.
And it's $25. It's going to be published by Dark Horse. So
yeah. Is that actually getting a full release, or is that exclusively through Nintendo? Because it sounded like during the presentation it was just through them, but like Dark Horse would imply to me that you could also just go to like a bookstore.
Right now there's only a link on the website, and it's supposed to release November 25th, according to the Nintendo website.
Cool. Yeah, that's neat. I like shit like that. So
I really I really hope that the book basically like does some sort of version where, okay, so do you know the whole like theory that Rosalina is Luigi and Peach's kid?
Yep, I do know that theory.
Because specifically in the French version of Super Mario Galaxy, there are like descriptions of her dad that sound like Luigi and not Mario.
Right.
Yeah. So I would really love, because they said that they're adding new pages to the storybook. I really hope that it just like either confirms that or recanonizes all of that, just because Nintendo would be just, you know,
there are sections of the fandom that would be feeding if that happened. Like, I know a couple people who are very into that.
Because the theories are interesting. Like when I watched the like a video explaining like why this all makes sense outside of just because like the other theories is that like, oh, Rosalina is like left-handed, and like Luigi is left-handed, like that, or something like that. Like the biology, the genetics behind it all. It's just like, this is crazy. It all makes sense. It all checks out, is what I'm saying.
It all checks out.
Anyway,
yeah.
Sorry for going off that.
I got no follow-up on that one. That's
Yeah, so Rosalina's storybook, everybody.
The point is get the storybook. It's cute. Danganronpa. We're getting I don't know if it's technically a remaster, remake, whatever, but 2x2, where it has the plot, story, and gameplay of 2, and now there's a whole additional story that you play as well that has like some of the same characters, but then a larger, like, different cast of characters added in, a different murder mystery that's happening as part of it, a new culprit. Yeah, if you like Danganronpa, awesome. More of that. 100 line, you know, back to back.
100 line. That I need to play it.
You
I
do.
really need to
It's
play
so
it. But no,
good.
Danganronpa 2, I'm really excited about that because one, I think it's interesting that they're doing that considering they just released the trilogy on Switch. But I've only played the first Danganronpa, so I will probably just play this remake version, or re-release version. And I've also heard that Danganronpa 2 is arguably the best of the three.
I think that's why this is happening. Yeah, I think that's why they're doing like a proper like bigger expansion of it, despite, as you said, the collection came out just not too long ago.
Yeah, so I'm excited to check it out. For sure.
Uh, Dynasty Warriors Origins released earlier this year, coming to Switch 2 in January 22nd next year. They did also announce DLC plans for the game, which I imagine expand out to every version of it, but they got to announce it here. Origins was cool. I need to go back to it. I was playing it early this year. I did get a gifted copy, I think via Xbox. Shout out to them. But yeah, it's a cool mix up on the Dynasty Warriors formula, and I think the big thing with the DLC was showcasing like more gameplay as the other characters, because that was kind of the thing that Origins got rid of. Less time with a lot of the traditional cast, so I'm sure there'll be some series fans happy to see that make its way in.
Yeah, I still want to play Origins. I've heard from multiple people that's low key still one of the best games, like top 5 best games to come out this year.
That's
So
rough
that's
with how this year's been building, man. Like
now
I
that
would
it's been. I don't know if that's how it's going to be at the end of
yeah,
it, but
like first quarter, I
currently,
agree. At this point, it's oh man, this has been a year. This has been a year. Uh,
I don't know. I don't know if I feel that way, but
I mean, I've enjoyed a lot of stuff this year, and there's a ton coming out in the like this month and next.
well, I'm trying to think. Well, okay. Well, I guess that's fair because, like, I mean, we're not trying to go on a whole
Yeah,
tangent
yeah,
here,
yeah.
but like, there's what Dynasty Warriors, 100 Line Expedition, Silk Song.
Death
What
Stranding
else is?
2.
Oh, Death Stranding 2.
Uh,
Okay, that's correct.
yeah, Split Fiction was this year.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Split Fiction is my current game of the year.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I
that's
mean, like, they're
yeah,
good. Yeah, there's, I think
that's
we're getting a
solid.
little, yeah, and we're getting a heavier end of year, I think, unless like every
Yo,
game I'm
this
excited for
is
sucks, but
definitely the most stacked like end of the year,
yeah.
like September to end of the year that we've gotten in a long
I
time.
feel like we had this thing happen for a while where post-COVID, people ended up kept releasing like quarter one because they weren't able to make end of year holiday. And then this was the year where everyone went, oh man, everyone keeps delaying to quarter one of the following year. Let's just really get it out like this holiday season. And then it all just came out. uh, but yeah, okay, so moving on from Dynasty Warriors, we had one last little wrap up of a bunch of games. I didn't write down the release dates for all these, but 2 Point Museum, Disgaea 7 Complete, EA Sports FC, Dragon Quest 1 and 2, Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, Lego Voyagers, Little Nightmares 3, and like we said earlier, Persona 3 Reload. And then the big closer before we got to Fire Emblem, that was a third-party announcement, Resident Evil 9 Requiem. I think it's just Requiem. You don't even say the 9.
I thought it was Hotel Dusk at
Yeah.
first. I was just like, is this Hotel Dusk? Holy shit.
It is not. Yeah, no. Requiem
Yeah,
is
I
coming
got
to Switch 2. I'm very curious to see, because I'm not going to be one of those people where I'm like, oh man, the Switch 2 version of any game is just going to look like ass. Like I think that's oftentimes like an overstatement, but optimization absolutely plays a big role, and I will see how Capcom handles it, because the little bits we saw, it definitely didn't look as good as we've seen for like PlayStation and Xbox. But cool, that's coming to Switch, same date, February 27th, right? And then the other thing they announced was that on that same day, for whatever reason, they're going to drop 7 in Village as well. So if you've been wanting to play the later Resident Evil games on a handheld Switch, here you go. It's happening.
Yeah, that's that.
Yep.
Now one quick thing, because that's the last of the announcements,
That's
right?
the last we got at the US Direct, yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. So we're talking about Japan. I'm cool with Japan stuff
No,
too.
I did. Well, there's one specific game I was going to bring up because I don't know if it showed up at the Japan one. I just know it wasn't at US, and Capcom announced it like simultaneously.
Oh yes, that I do want to talk. I want to talk about that. But
Yeah.
the other thing I want to talk about, I forgot. Did you mention the price and release date for the Mega Dimension DLC for ZA?
I mentioned that you're getting same day bonus items, but that the content is at a later date we don't know yet. I don't
So
know.
there's a date and there's a price now.
Oh, okay.
So it's gonna be $30.
Yeah.
Yep.
$100
And
total for a game now. Yeah.
it releases on the 16th. So just 2 weeks. Or like
Really?
basically 2 weeks after release,
That
yeah.
soon after. That is silly.
But like I don't know if it's gonna when I see this DLC, do you see this as like a Area Zero, like
I mean, for
Pokemon Scarlet Violet?
$30, it better be.
Yeah, I mean, for $30, you make a good point. You make a good point. For $30, it better be. Yeah, okay. You shut me up.
Yeah, like
Continue.
because now you're saying that with that being 2 weeks later and having like a incentive bonus for buying it as soon as possible, Pokemon Legends ZA is suddenly a $100 game.
Yeah.
Plus Nintendo Switch Online if you want to get all the Mega Evolutions. Like,
yeah. And it also worries me that there is going to be some sort of complete edition later, and I'm gonna have to like buy that down the line, where it's like, oh, here's all the DLC on the cart. I'm like,
the
but I
DLC that
already
came out 2
paid
weeks later.
for it. But I already paid for it. So yeah, but we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see.
But I gotta pre-order that DLC before the game comes out, apparently. So
And then not announced the direct, but I feel like it's relevant enough to shout out right now because it feels like it should have been at the direct, and Capcom announced this like at the exact same time. Like they just dropped this trailer out of the blue.
sure.
We are getting a Legacy collection for Mega Man Star Force. We got the Battle Network collection. I forget how many years it's been now, a couple years ago. And I know a few people who were wondering if we were going to get the Star Force games later, and here they are. 7 games, all on one cart. Mega Man Star Force Pegasus, Leo, and Dragon, Mega Man Star Force 2, Zerker X Ninja, and Zerker X Saurian, and then Mega Man Star Force 3, Black Ace.
Yeah,
And
I
Red
don't
Joker.
I don't think I knew about these games before this announcement.
I knew of them. I never really got into them. I kind of missed the
Like,
Battle
what
Network
are
train.
they? Are they like more traditional Mega Man type games, or are they like?
No,
Because like Battle Network is like
Yeah.
a different genre.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so, it's just like
it's
what are these?
So I don't know the exact specifics. I'm gonna be real, but I know that they are in the same vein as Battle Network. I don't know if it's the exact same like combat and setup, but I know it is meant to be like that kind of RPG hybrid deal. They are not 2D platformers. Which is also why they have versions, right? Like they're doing the Pokemon style, like, oh, which one do you get? And that changes some things. Yeah, I know. I totally missed the boat on these. I never played like any of them. It'd be interesting to see how they get translated too, because I know a lot of these were DS titles that are now going to be single screen, obviously, kind of like what happened with the Castlevania Dominus collection, which that was a really easy one because that was just like map data was on the other screen, and they just did this whole like breakdown thing that way. Yeah, I'm curious how Capcom's going to approach adapting those to single screen. I never played them. I don't have any nostalgia for them. I know a couple people that liked them, so excited for those folks.
Breaking news.
Oh,
we got some prices for some of the amiibos.
Oh, wonderful.
We got the Samus amiibo and the Samus, and the bike is called Viola.
Yes, I did see that.
Awesome. So Samus and Silex are, is that Silex?
I think so. I'm not 100% on my
Silex?
Metroid knowledge.
Okay. They're selling for $30 each.
Yeah, knew it.
And then the Samus on the bike is $40, which is less than I expected.
I mean, it's in line with like the Street Fighter ones, right?
But it's like a big amiibo. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was going to be like.
No, it's a bigger. I mean, it's not big, but it's big. It's bigger.
Yeah, it's okay. And so the Samus and then the Samus on the bike amiibos come out November 6th, so before its release, and then the Silex is December 4th. Just didn't remember if you said that, so I just wanted to repeat it. And the Kirby amiibos are both selling for $50.
Oh, because of the double vehicle thing and like
of the interchangeable thing, probably. Yeah,
if you had asked me to guess before finding out these prices, I would not have thought those would have been more than the Samus on a bike. Like, I kind of get it, but that is... How big are those ones? Like, did I just get a bad sense of scale when they were showing... Oh, man. Like, Amiibo...
The size of the boxes look... They look like the same dimensions as the bike.
Oh, God. Just like, again, physical goods in the US. Gotta love it right now. Yeah, that was even what happened, like, when we had the tariff scare. That's when all the Amiibo went up. Like, the Street Fighter ones were going to be 30, and then they became 40. And then whatever other ones they announced around the same time, I think it was the Tears of the Kingdom ones, so the imprisonment ones. Those were going to be 20, and now are 30. Like, why? God, well, I know why. I just I hate it here. And then what about the we haven't said the Amiibo for Galaxy yet, or did they not have prices for those?
Sorry, one more time.
Galaxy Amiibos, any pricing on those yet?
No pricing on those yet. No.
Okay.
Not that I see. So, yeah.
Love it. Love it here.
So someone quote tweeted the Virtual Boy stuff saying this is the video game equivalent of putting Morbius back in theaters. Okay.
I slightly disagree, but I love it. I do love the sentiment. Yeah.
So what? Yeah. So that's those are the directs.
That's all the direct stuff. That's cool. Everything that went down. Yeah. It does look like Mario and Luma at least went up, and that is $40 as well.
Okay, that's about what I would have expected.
It's a little fancier. Yeah, he's like the whole, yeah.
I do want to say, oh yeah, so they were $40 each. I do want to say I'm really happy that Nintendo has not abandoned Amiibo, because I really thought, like, near the end of the Switch life cycle that it was like, oh, we're just getting like Switch or Smash Amiibos, and like that's really it.
It seems like the focus now is like really trying to hone in on like the super fans, because it seems like the quality is getting only like better and better. Like, they're getting more intricate and they're getting larger, but they are also absolutely charging the premium. So before, I think they were kind of priced and manufactured for like a wide net, and now they're just like, hey, like, the folks that are just actively collecting or really do like the functionality, because the way this is not as true as it used to be. The way I used to think about it, I was like, oh, like a lot of, especially the kind of like midway through Amiibo, like a couple years into Switch, they were good quality. They were like good designs. They really locked in a lot of the manufacturing for it, and they were still like $18. And it's like, I have bought figures that are this size for more than that. So like, they felt like a good value. Not as much anymore now that we're hitting 30 and 40 more regularly. That's more painful. But yeah, I also like that they're still around. You know, I'm gonna be pretty choosy still with what I get. I haven't bought one in a minute, but if they announce some Fire Emblem ones again, I'll probably break down for that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I probably will get the Mario Galaxy one, because that's something that I kind of wish that they did during during Mario's last anniversary, 35th anniversary. I see that you've realized something, but I'll finish my thought.
Yeah, finish.
Because like, I like how they did, even though I'm not a Zelda guy, I bought all of the special links where they were like based off of like the different games, because I thought that was a cool thing that they did.
I do have, I think, and until the ones they announced most recently back at like the Switch 2 reveal or whatever, I had all the Legend of Zelda amiibo up to that point. I've not caught up with those ones.
The only series that I have complete is Fire Emblem and Xenoblade. But that's because, like, you know, those are the JRPGs of them.
Yeah.
But I have like every outside of the 8-bit link, I have all of the Link's Awakening link, like the remake.
Yeah.
I have all of the like different links.
Nice.
From Zelda. And then like with Smash, I have just like the Smash characters or that I like or think are cool. Like, I'm not a Banjo-Kazooie guy, but I was like, that amiibo is too good not to own. Like with the Jiggy piece on it, and like I was like, oh, this is so good.
There's a couple random ones. Like, I have the full Shovel Knight set because I freaking
I have the full Shovel Knight set.
I grabbed that.
Honestly, the Shovel Knight amiibos are like some of the best amiibos made.
Oh no,
Like
they're fantastic.
they're
Yeah,
they're so high quality. Like I can't believe they were sitting on shelves like for dirt ass cheap because they're so good.
they're so good. The thing I made a face to was have you do you know what Anton Blast is? Have you played Anton Blast?
I know what Anton Blast is. I am friends with the creator.
Oh yeah, no, Tony's awesome. Love Tony.
Yeah, Tony's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. They they just announced they're doing a Virtual Boy mode, and it's going to release like in the next few weeks. So you can play
That's sick.
you can play it in the Virtual Boy mode, like with the Virtual Boy attachment, and it's going to give you the depth effect and stuff. And they like, I guess they knew this was coming, and so they just made a whole mode for their game to support it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that is super cool.
Cool. Well, everybody, I think that's everything about the Nintendo's Direct today.
I got one last thing for you. This is just
Okay.
a follow up on something. How do you feel on those Mega Evolutions? Like for the Gen 6 starters? Like, you know, like what's the temperature check on those?
Not like I don't love them. I would say like I would say that I don't think there's a single Mega Evolution that I'm like this is great.
Oh, that's right. But yeah, that's also right. You hate Mega Evolutions, so this is.
But I would like say that
question.
out of the three of them, the Delphox one's probably like the best.
I agree. Actually, I never really cared for Delphox, and I thought that Mega Evolution was like the biggest upgrade out of the three.
Yeah, like because I like Grenin. So like with Gen 6, Gen 6 is interesting. I was all in on Chespin. All in on Chespin, and then I got the biggest betrayal ever in that with that evolution line.
I love Chestnut. I'm sorry.
No, Chestnut is like one of the worst, like maybe the worst designed final form Pokemon. Like
I don't know why people hate on Chestnut
Pokemon.
so much. I like the Chestnut design. Like maybe it's just because I really love the theming of it being like a fighter, a mage, and a thief. Because that is like what they did like stylistically. But I like Chestnut like a lot.
Yeah, nope, not me. And then I do like Greninja is like probably because I wanted to choose the water starter because I always like to choose the water starter, but I didn't really like Froakie. I was like, nah, Froakie looks like a fucking
And then you
fool.
saw Greninja.
I saw Greninja. I'm like, Greninja's so cool.
Like the breakout hit starter of that gen. Like,
but I will say that I think that Delphox being fire psychic was a very cool choice because I feel like all of the fire starters historically and even now even now outside of 6th gen are like physical attackers.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I mean,
so
like
Delphox was definitely a breath of fresh air there.
Yeah, there's a couple that are like mixed. Like Infernape is like 50-50, but no, he like stat wise he is 50-50. You can build him either way.
Oh, okay.
Like I know visually he's definitely like Fight Monkey, but the actual stat spread you can do him. He can do mixed sweeper. But yeah, like conceptually, you're right. Like most of them are usually very physical oriented. Like it doesn't help that 3 of them are firefighting, so that really like drove that up as well. And even the ones that aren't firefighting still have that vibe with like freaking John Cena's furry persona. I can't remember his name right now.
Oh, Incineroar,
yeah. Yeah. So that is one thing that's cool about Delphox, and I think that what they did with the design for the Mega one like is pretty neat.
So, before we dip out, I guess like in general, what were your overall thoughts on the Direct?
I liked this one a lot. I think the biggest thing for me, like we kind of said at the top end, I'm glad that this one was as first party focused as it was. Because not that you needed to just be first party every single time, but I think especially with the Switch 2 release, a lot of people were kind of waiting for like, hey, like what's some more stuff that like I should get for a Switch 2, or like, well, what, like Nintendo, like why do we need to keep investing in y'all? Especially because so many devs are going third party, like all out, right? Or going like multi-platform all out. And like this one does run into a little bit of the issue of like, yeah, a few of the games are still cross-gen and we're still getting Switch 1 stuff, but like most of the major fandoms showed up for at least a little bit, right? We got some Metroid, we got some Kirby, we got some Pokemon, we got some Zelda, we got some Fire Emblem, we got Mario, lots of Mario. Like outside of, I know some people were, and I feel like this was a meme. I don't know how many people seriously thought this. We didn't get Smash Brothers news. I don't know how serious anyone was about that because I saw a lot of that like the day before, and I was like, no,
They
like,
were, yeah, people
no,
were saying that just to say it,
yeah.
or they are crazy. I don't know, one of the
Yeah, like I know I saw Hungrybox being like, "Hey, if they actually announce it, I'll give someone that retweets this $1,000." Just like, all right, okay,
yeah,
buddy.
I would have been like, no,
Uh,
don't waste your time.
yeah, so like, yeah, Smash wasn't there. There's a couple franchises where I think Nintendo doesn't know what to do with right now that weren't there, like Star Fox and F-Zero. I think the only like other big franchises that were left out, no Pikmin news, which doesn't surprise me, and no Splatoon. Like I think Splatoon is probably the one other like big IP that the fandom's gonna be waiting for some news on the next one by this point. Which they did kind of announce that one game, but we haven't seen anything of it really outside of like a Nintendo news drop.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I was surprised that it wasn't at the direct in some capacity, but I don't know. Like it got announced in June, right? That's when it got announced in June. So
I think
it's
so.
not crazy to think that it's like on the backer end or during the summertime of next year, because that's normally when Splatoon games come out, right? During the summer,
I think
historically.
so. I'm not. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not that keyed in to Splatoon to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of them come out like in the summer, like sometime between May and July. So um that makes a lot of sense. Uh I think the main thing that I'm curious about, because I do agree with you. Like I thought that this is definitely one of the stronger directs in recent memory. Um, I'm curious what more if we're gonna get more 40th anniversary stuff for Mario and what that is going to look like.
Do you mean more games or just anything?
Ideally, games, but anything.
So, well, games. There's one theory I saw put out yesterday, and I'm trying to remember who I saw put this up as like there. It was meant to be like an out of pocket, like like what's like a wild announcement that could happen. But I actually think there's some good grounding for this. I'm a little surprised we didn't get like Mario Maker Switch 2 news. Um, you know,
Like a port or a 3.
I mean, either way, right? Like either a 3 or a Switch 2 edition update to Mario Maker
Sure.
2. Like it just seems like it's been long enough since 2 released. There's been new stuff to work with, like the Wonder design approach. It's just a thing where like kind of feels like a very good Mario anniversary type title release.
Mhm, mhm.
So that would be cool. I'm a little, with that having not been announced here, I don't really know what the chances are of that. I think as far as games go, if it wasn't here today, my biggest assumption would be like some more NSO like releases, right? Mario is missing. I don't know. We got Mario Paint. That's cool. But yeah, and then outside of that, I mean, like, sure, I'm sure there's more stuff they're going to do for it. I don't think this direct is like the one and only source for news on that celebration.
Mhm.
We'll get some more stuff, but like game wise, I mean, I feel like what I mean, are there any other major first party ones that need a re-release at this point? Like Galaxy was kind of the one big missing one. Everything else is either on NSO or has a Switch release
I
now.
don't think we need a re-release, but like I wouldn't be surprised if like, because it doesn't have to be like a 3D Mario, right? Or it doesn't have to be a 2D Mario. It could be other stuff too. But like
Sure.
I, and I haven't, obviously none of them ever hold any real weight. But like I saw like like a list of like, oh, this is what's going to be announced, and I saw like Super Mario Sunshine remake. I don't hate that.
I
I don't hate
I
that.
would not have expected that whatsoever.
I wouldn't have expected it, but like I don't hate it. I would
Eh,
like it.
yeah, I
I
don't
like
know.
Super Mario Sunshine.
I know that's fair, but like I just don't know what the priority is on that. With like, it's on NSO. They've got a team for a 3D team that just released Donkey Kong Bonanza. Like, that would just be a hard sell for me to believe that would be a thing coming up. Like, that's one of those things where I read it
Sure,
on
sure,
a list
sure.
and I'm like, I don't like. Yeah, I don't see
Sure,
that.
but like other things like Paper Mario Color Splash,
Sure,
that needs to
Paper
be
Mario is
ported,
a thing that, yeah,
or a
true.
new Paper Mario. There's definitely or porting some more of the older Mario and Luigi games. I think that's a reasonable thing. Like, there's so many Mario spin-offs that
Yeah.
there's definitely other things that they could do, but
Sure.
also just like merchandise too. Like when they did like those shirts for all of the games, like that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like I want them to really go out on the merch again.
Yeah, and I think there's still plenty of room for that to happen. I don't think this direct is like the end of announcing tie-ins.
And we haven't talked about I thought about this when they announced Wonder, and I've come to this kind of realization where, like, you know, Nintendo is very meticulous with the things that they do, and they do things for a reason, right? And I remember, and when they ported Super Mario 3D World and they did Bowser's Fury, um, I was like, a lot of people, understandably so, was like, oh, they're definitely like kind of like test running ideas for the next 3D Mario. But what I think they were really doing was they were test running these kind of collections for the Nintendo Switch too, where
Mm-hmm.
it's like, hey, let's port this game, make it better, and then let's add this new thing, like this new package along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the blueprint. That has been the blueprint of like all of these things that they've done, like with Zelda, Mario Wonder, and and the like. And I just like I don't know, it's just something that like kind of caught my attention. It's like, oh, like so that's why they did that. Like idea. Jesus. So yeah, just a fun little like kind of thing I noticed.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And that is a trend they've been following. Um, Look, I mean, like we've talked about this before, especially because we're both into RPGs. I would not be opposed to getting more of, either a new Paper Mario or bring back more of the Mario and Luigi games. Like that all sounds great to me, and I don't think any of that's off the table. I just think we already have. Not that like what we got announced today is alone like, oh, that's enough, they don't have to do anything else, but like I just, it's enough where I'm like, oh, if they stopped there I wouldn't be surprised. Like more is cool and I think people would be hyped for that. But I feel like that was a pretty strong, or at least a sufficient opening of like, hey, here's the things we're doing for this anniversary.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll just have to wait and see, because Nintendo's gonna do what Nintendo wants to do.
Yep, that is
And
always the number one rule. And sometimes
and
it's predictable, and sometimes it is Virtual Boy NSO.
yep. And so I again, I was happy with this direct. I wish, like, I guess it's not even that I wish there was more for me, but I just feel like that the things outside of Fire Emblem and Dragon Quest VII, I feel like a lot of the stuff that we got were either like ports or just updates of games that we already knew, which is cool. Obviously, like that's kind of like what the directs are for. But I think like when it comes to just like full blown announcements, it was really just Fire Emblem and Dragon Quest for me. Like I'm
Yeah.
again very happy that Galaxy 2 is coming to Switch.
Yeah,
I
the only other big like new game was the Yoshi title, basically.
The Yoshi title and
Yeah.
the Mario Tennis.
Yes, and the Mario Tennis. Yeah.
And I am excited for Yoshi as well. But again, it's just one of those things where there's just so many games where I just that's a game I would probably like stream to play, but I don't have the time to stream right now. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna definitely buy this when it comes out. Or like, down the line. And that's the thing I kind of want to be better about this generation, is that like there's so many first party Nintendo games that come out, and I want to be really good about like buying them at launch, because the discounts just hardly happen in a real way, where it's like, oh, I'm just gonna wait for it to go down like $10. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to be good about keeping up to date with them, because as someone who's been like catching up on a lot of the first party releases, it's just like, damn, this is annoying. This is annoying. Like I feel it's like one of those things like when you're moving
Mm-hmm.
and you feel like you're almost done, and then you do another good chunk of shit, and you're just like, oh shit, I am not almost done. Like this is it's still like a long way to go. So that's like how I feel, collecting Nintendo's first party library for the Switch.
Yeah.
It just keeps going. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm almost done. No, I'm not. Oh,
and
almost done.
and
No, I'm
there's
not.
just so much of it, like especially
Yeah,
relative to first party companies. Like it's just like you're not getting this kind of steady release out of Xbox or PlayStation by virtue of what they're trying
yeah,
to do budget wise and scale wise. And even then,
exactly.
when you get a game that's like large, it's still sometimes shorter than some of these Nintendo titles because so much time went into like we're perfecting the photorealism and detailing a whole open world. Um, yeah. Uh, you gave me a thought. I forgot what it was. Just on the subject of, oh yeah, I guess the big thing too is that again, I enjoyed this one overall, but yeah, if we're talking about like, because I also try to come at it from the angle of like, I think this is just cool in general that they're also showing this and this and this. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm not going to play Virtual Boy nonstop. The Yoshi game looks neat. I don't know if I'm going to go all in anytime soon. When it's the things that like we get really hyped about, it's like, sure, gonna need a Xenoblade announcement at some point. I'm very happy we got Fire Emblem. I'm still holding out hope that
Yes.
4 happens at some point, a remake of it. Um, I
Yeah, I
think, Mario RPG, like a new one, whether it's RPG or paper or, well, we did get new Mario and Luigi, but that got the reception it did. Um, yeah, like there certainly are things they could be announcing that I would be personally like extra hyped for. Oh, another one, like we've talked about, working with Platinum again for Astral Chain, like leveraging that IP. Yeah, there's definitely things that I want announced that have not happened yet. I just think in terms of like covering a good variety, I'm really glad there were 2 announcements here that I'm like all in hyped for, one of which is an exclusive, and a whole bunch of like interesting other stuff.
Yeah, and I think that like I think out of anything that I think that realistically could have happened, the one thing that like I wish showed up that didn't was like a Xenoblade 2 update or definitive edition announcement of some sort.
Sure. Like Switch
Um
2 editions in general for Xenoblade games is kind of a hanging question mark right now because it's like, yeah, we're not getting patches, we're not getting pay upgrades. Like, what's going on with that?
yeah, and I'm sure that's something that's like kind of in the works. I wouldn't go as far to say that there's going to be like a Switch 2 version of like these games because they
Sure.
all I mean, granted they only did it with Xenoblade 1 and X, but this would be the third time that they would be doing it with Xenoblade 1. It's just like, since its release, and it's just like
Well, I
that's a
mean,
lot.
yeah, but like when I think of Switch 2 edition upgrades, right? Like in a lot of cases, even the paid for ones, like ultimately it's like, hey, we uncapped the frame rate, we added some like we retextured some things. We're not necessarily like maybe we add some new content, whatever. There's one new blade for Xenoblade 2. Like there's ways of doing Switch 2 editions where it's like you're not rebuilding a whole thing from the ground up necessarily. You're just making it really take advantage of the new power that is available to it because you couldn't do that on the original Switch.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like even like Zelda, right? Like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, they charged for those, but like they didn't add anything. They're just
Mm,
shinier,
mhm,
noticeably
mhm.
so.
Yeah. Uh, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll
It's
see.
like,
Yeah,
we'll see down the
yeah,
line.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see what they want to do.
I think we'll get something Xeno next year, for sure.
Yeah, and then like Dala has brought up over on JRPG Pursuit, I just hoping for not only Xenoblade, but like, hey, like Nintendo, like you guys are cool with Square, you're cool with Bandai Namco, like what's going on with Gears and Saga? Like let's put those on some modern systems again.
Yep. Yep.
All right. I
Yep.
think we did it.
We did it.
We
We
did
did it.
it.
It's been a long day, and
We
it's
have
only been 1:30.
Yeah, and
It's only 1:30 right now.
we also spent twice as much time talking about the direct than it was itself long. That was an hour long direct that we've been talking about for 2 hours.
And I did not expect us to go on that long either, but some other
Yeah,
things just kept coming up, and like we had some good discussion for sure.
there's some
We had
good
some
yeah,
good
that's good
discussion.
stuff in there. Good stuff in there.
Um, cool. Well, thank you everybody for listening to our thoughts on today's Nintendo Direct. Kevin, do you have anything else for the people before we dip out?
I would really love for physical game goods to not be as expensive as they are right now, and there's only a few ways that'll change, and none of that's going to happen soon.
Agreed. Good talk.
Just lamenting it, just
as well as let's stop with the game key cards, Square Enix. You know what I mean? Let's stop with that. Because there's the thing with like the, I don't know if you saw, like the Final Fantasy Intergrade on Switch is like Switch 2 is like 90 gigabytes. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, you got me. I can't be like,
how big is Octad Zero?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
You got me on that one, but come on, the other ones, come on now. Anyway, y'all can follow me on socials at CamFinalMix. You can follow Kevin at Kevin Kenson. Thank you everybody for listening, and until next time, we'll catch you later.
Later.